Hey, Dawnmarie, thank you so much for being with me on the Purposeful Mindset podcast. I am super excited and I'm so fired up to have you on on my show now because I just remember that we just recorded an episode on your show. And again, thank you so much for having me on your show. It was such a fun interview, such a nice, um, just a really good connection that we had. And like the questions that you asked were just so deep, and I loved giving my energy and my value to your audience. But I'm super excited to have you on my show. And I'm honestly, I just want to just basically shut up now. And I want to learn from Dawnmarie today because today's show is all about you. So, Dawnmarie, please introduce yourself briefly to my listeners, the people that don't know you. And then I want to go straight into like, what would you say from all the things that Dawnmarie has done in her life until now? Even with all the struggles and all the amazing kind of things that you've already achieved, as you can see, as I can see on the back of your wall, like what would you say are your top 5 life lessons that you can share with the world?
Well, first, Coach Sadiq, thank you so much for having me on your podcast today. I am honored and inspired by you every single day. Keep doing the fabulous work that you're doing because even when I have a tough day, I look for your page to find
Wow, thank
inspiration.
you so
So
much.
thank you. Dawnmarie Deshaies. I am an author of 2 books, Living with Phantoms, A Journey to the Truth, and then Finding the Sun Through the Clouds was my second book released. I'm the CEO of Dawnmarie Healthy and Fit, a model part-time and a mother of 3 and constantly on the run.
Love
But
it.
yeah, just on the run. I don't stop.
I see that as well. I see that in your content. I see your resilience. I just see how much you're still hustling and you're still so hungry and passionate for basically just impacting more lives. And one of the reasons why I love speaking to people like yourself on my podcast is because I say at the beginning of my podcast that this podcast is all about bringing servant leaders to share their top life lessons with the world. And for me, to me, you are one of those servant leaders that I see every day passionately sharing your wisdom, your love, your energy, and even just like your personal life. Like you share so much vulnerability that I think a lot of people can learn from. So I'm excited to just basically learn from your kind of top 5 life lessons today.
Well, you just mentioned one of them, vulnerability. That's a little bit of my multiple sclerosis kicking in, where I can't find the word or say it properly. Is key to actually succeeding in life, and I had to learn that because for years I struggled with what was wrong with me, what was going on with me, and being told that I was perfectly fine through blood work. And I had to continue to keep moving forward, knowing something was tearing me apart, but moving forward to be the best mom, to be the best corporate wife, to keep moving on. And that is a very hard thing to learn, to be able to hide the pain that you're in and move forward with that beautiful light and sunshine. So you're basically living 2 lives. You're hiding the pain while you're moving forward in the light. And so that was number one. No matter what you go through in life, you can always find the sun through the clouds. And with that, it's there. The sun is always there, but there are cloudy moments in life, and we all face that. And it's either you live in the clouds or the darkness, or you move forward in the light. So that is key for me. I surround myself, number 2, with beautiful, bright colors to help my living with multiple sclerosis and help my personality stay bright. So I'm constantly got colors around me that keep me moving forward other than living in the dark. Um, 3, I've learned that I cannot control everything in life. And that was a very hard thing for me to learn. I really tried to control everything. How do I become present? How do I not let people see the pain? How do I raise my children to be strong and comfortable with themselves when I was not comfortable with myself? And that was a very difficult lesson. But having three children actually taught me to see outside of the box.
Mm,
We're all told as we're growing up, especially my generation, it was get up, get doing it, get a job, and don't stop and don't show vulnerability.
yeah.
And that was my generation. And then here I am having children in my 30s, and I had to learn a whole new way of how am I going to raise them from what I was raised. And it was compassion and love and strength, and give your heart and soul to everybody that you meet, and don't hold back like I was taught. So those, 1, 2, and 3 are all really moving forward positively, no matter how bad your day is, because there's always something amazing in the day.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah, I
something
love that.
amazing in every day, whether it's a bird, a tree, a flower, someone that comes across your path as you're walking down the street, that you basically have a huge smile. And today, unfortunately, we have masks that we deal with living in COVID, but you can still smile with your eyes and you can still say hello. And I have opened up my entire life to the world and to anyone that wants to know anything about me. And I've learned that I'm not afraid to say that I've done many things in my life out of fear.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Honestly, I love that because there are, like you said, so many people in the world right now that I come across that are just fearful. Like they just worry too much about what other people think about them. And
yes,
that's what's stopping a lot of people in life right now. It's one of the messages that I share almost every single week. Like, stop caring and stop worrying about what other people think about me, because that's how my life changed. Because as I shared the other day on your show, like over 6 years ago, I used to be super shy, couldn't speak to women. I had 8 friends. All I did was play games and come home from the bank and just eat, sleep, repeat the same life every day. And so I had to learn to ask myself, hey, Sadiq, why are you not doing something that you love just because you're scared of what your siblings are going to say, your mom's going to say, your friends are going to think of you? Why are you living your life based on their opinion? Because if you had supportive people around you and you surrounded yourself with those like-minded people, as you shared, then we won't ever feel neglected. We won't ever feel unloved. We won't ever feel like we're not good enough. We'll only be inspired and uplifted because those friends around you, whoever they are, if they are positive and uplifting and encouraging, they will always lift you up. I would never come to Dawnmarie and say, hey, Dawnmarie, that live you did the other day, that sucks. That's already, that's a toxic person. Get them out of your life fast and replace that with an extra positive person.
exactly.
You know?
And I've learned, and it was extremely difficult. I'm glad that you brought that up because I had what I call energy vampires in my life. And it's just a person that just completely sucks the energy out of you. And you try to help and you try to listen, which is what a good person does in giving back your energy and your spirit. But if you're noticing every time you're with that person and you're just lifeless at the end and they're not listening, that means they're not willing to move forward with you and to accept you for you, and you accept them for them, but it's a negative response back and forth that you have to let go of. And I really believe there's a famous phrase that says a person comes into your life at a specific time, place, and moment to teach you a lesson. And I have come across so many incredible people, so many people that I helped turn their life around, or they helped turn my thought process around. And I've embraced all of it and literally wrote it down, visualized it, felt it again, and then learned from it and moved forward. And I'm constantly learning every single day from so many inspirational people like yourself.
Yeah, and I think learning is just a lifelong process. You can't, I think there's another quote that says, the day you stop learning is the day that you die.
Exactly.
Because if you're not pumping positivity into your mind, if you're not surrounding yourself with those like-minded people, if you don't have coaches and mentors around you, if you're not constantly wanting to up level your mindset to somewhere where you look up to this certain individual in your life that you want to be somewhat like them, but you can never be them, because at the end of the day, we can't be like anybody else. We are unique, special, amazing, and awesome in our own unique way. We can't like we cannot express things the way someone else in the world can, but we can take the best and the good from others and then implement that into our own life in our own way. You know, we add that extra spice to our own flavoring. Like,
Exactly. I love that you said that, our own spice to our flavoring.
yeah,
And
because you know
yeah,
everybody has something to share, right? Everybody has some wisdom. I think everyone in the world you can learn from, and they can also teach you something new. And so the hardest thing for most people is to kill that ego inside of their mind and their head and their heart, to be like, who are you? Like, why how can I learn from you? What can I learn from you? And those people with the ego are the ones that usually struggle the most in life, because they don't move forward, because they think they know everything and everyone else is wrong.
and it's very difficult because you still want to love that person
Mm,
because they've been a part of your life, but sometimes you just have to let them go and realize, why did she let me go, and analyze it on their own side of their life. Like, I'll explain to you why I have to say goodbye to the friendship from what I see. But there are a lot of people in the world that live in the past, and
mm,
the past is the past, it's history, and learn from it. But don't hold it in your heart. You need to let it go and constantly look for the sun through the clouds, always.
mm. That's amazing. So powerful. I love this. This is like what my favorite life lesson that you shared so far, because it's so relatable. Like everybody listening right now or watching this on YouTube, they can relate to this, because it's just like it's raw and it's vulnerable and it's real life. Like right now, let's be real. It's a tough time in the world. Everybody's struggling. Like people, like I always tell people, don't just see people on social media and think, wow, they are always living in the sun. Because believe me, and I'm sure you can agree with me, Dawnmarie, like we can't 100% be in the sun all day.
No,
That's why the clouds are there, right? We are gonna go into the dark clouds. We are gonna go into sadness. We are gonna go into deep emotions. We are gonna have fear. Of course we are. We are just human beings. We all have emotions. So as beautifully as you put that, I also think everybody goes through those dark moments and the dark clouds and the rain and the snow, and like, you know, we go through the hardships to to eventually come out and be resilient and be and have that grit to find the sunshine again, to find the light, to find the people who, you know, pull us back up again, say, hey, you got this, let's keep going.
exactly, exactly. And it's okay to be in those moments because those moments make us stronger.
Mhm.
So you can either let it defeat you or learn from it and not repeat it again and keep moving forward. And the people that live in the past repeat the same pattern. And that's why it's always, they blame it on other people. And I learned that I could not live my life and blame the disease, multiple sclerosis, or anyone in life dealing with anything, whether it's childhood trauma or life trauma or anything to do with what you don't like. If you don't like what is going on in your life, the only person that can change it is you. And I had to learn that. And even though I wasn't taught that as a young child, I didn't learn that until after I was diagnosed. And it took me 2 years
Mm,
after that to learn, how do I pull myself out of this darkness and help others understand that you can take a million stories and put them in a bowl of soup and stir them together and pull out so many magical things from that tragedy, from one sharing another story. And life is magical and it will always have the sun through the clouds. But pick those moments, not just the good ones. Also, learn to take the bad ones from the clouds and share it and open up your heart. And yeah, I came to a point that I actually shared on my Instagram that I tried to take my life with the drugs that they had me on for multiple sclerosis. I was deathly allergic to it. A year passed and I didn't, I was not me. I knew I wasn't me. And I literally took every pill I knew I was allergic to because I thought I could not continue living my life with another disease that was not diagnosed. And I left my home. And if God, thank God for the technology of an iPhone and an iPad. I did not know, being miles away from home, I left a video message to my husband and family explaining why I thought I had to leave and why I could not live any longer. And that message went from my iPhone to my iPad at home in the bedroom. It lit up, and my husband tracked my phone and saved my life. It took 3 days to get the drugs out of my system. It took a lot of social anxiety of, now I'm fighting another battle. And then I found out I had colitis on top of multiple sclerosis. Okay, I've already done one battle. I'm here for a reason. God did not want me to leave. So now I am even stronger than I was a year ago. Now I've got the faith of that light through the clouds, that I will not let life bring me down any longer. And I will be vulnerable to whatever anyone wants to know about me to help save another life moving forward.
So powerful and so
And
deep and so authentic of you.
it was a really, really, really dark time in my life again. Like, I dealt with my entire life of doctors just dismissing me because all they would see is this,
Hmm.
and not listening to what was wrong with me. And I just thought, I can't, like, this is insane. Well, this past year, I almost died again on Thanksgiving Day. And it wasn't because of the drugs. It was the pain that I was in from my multiple sclerosis and living with colitis, that my entire stomach and abdominal wall was blown out like I was 9 months pregnant. I couldn't eat or drink anything. And thank God the ER doctor was incredible, because he was fresh out of school and he wasn't always in the box of how society is in doctors. I'm
Hmm.
not blaming all doctors. I'm just saying, he's like, okay, can you show me a picture of you normally without your belly this inflamed? Because my blood pressure was 213 over 160. I was literally either going to have a stroke or die from a major heart attack of how much pain I was in. This doctor put me through a CT scan. My brain was good, my heart was strong. And then they found out my entire intestinal wall was covered with infection. And now I have colitis, and I've learned a new way of living and eating. And that's another dark cloud I had to face. But that's one more thing that life has given me to be able to help so many more people. So now I view life differently.
Hmm.
So I accept those dark clouds and those moments, and I have to learn to, like, go through that battle of tragedy to come out on the other side of the light and realize that's just one more thing I can learn to help someone else in the world struggling with yet another disease.
That's what I call a servant leader. That's what I that's what I call a warrior. That's what I call
So,
someone that truly cares. Because there's another there's in the times that we're facing right now, people need you, Dawnmarie. And I'm like, thank God that your husband went that day and saved you, because otherwise we would have lost another light. We would have lost another son in the world. Because that's what you are, Dawnmarie. You're literally living proof of someone that has been through one of the most challenging things. Like, I can only imagine going through what you went through. Like, it's just like, it's crazy when you put your perspective together, how much pain you probably did go through at that time, that you felt like that you felt like you didn't need to be here no more. Nobody would care if I just
yeah.
go.
Yeah, I
But the
just
truth
thought I
is,
couldn't torture my family anymore.
mhm,
I We've already been through so much before my diagnosis of MS, and I felt like I was going crazy, and that's why I named my first book "Living with Phantoms," because a phantom you cannot see, but it haunts you and it destroys you, and that's what is happening in today's world. There's this COVID that we can't see, but it's affecting us in a massive destruction of the world, and everybody is in fear. But what we really need to understand moving forward is accept the fear, learn it, understand it, then take that and run towards the sun, That is you. You are the soul running into the light, and embrace life the way it is. So whether you have a mask on or you don't, I personally don't have a mask on when I'm outdoors unless I am required to wear a mask to wherever I am going. So I've embraced life and no longer fear COVID. I no longer fear death, and I accept life for whatever comes at me with grace.
Hmm. Powerful stuff. I love it. So it's so deep and like straight to the heart. You know, it's very heartfelt. And I think a lot of people listening and watching this right now, they need to hear this message. They need this love and this light from you, Dawnmarie. So thank you so much for sharing that. I think that was your third life lesson you just shared, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was all right. So let's. What would you?
Third or fourth.
Third and yeah, because I kind of think that like there was like what there was about 10 in all of that what you just shared. But if you were to summarize it in the last two, what would those last two be? The fourth and the fifth.
Learn to lean on the ones that you love,
Hmm.
because even though the ones that we love sometimes tell us the things we don't want to hear, we need to learn and accept. So
Hmm.
learn to lean and take the negative with the positive and learn from it.
So beautiful. That reminds me of something that one of my mentors taught me. He said, just because someone loves you, it doesn't mean they're gonna give you good advice.
Exactly. Exactly. They're your mirror.
Yeah.
And then that the fifth thing is a mirror to me. It is me every morning. When I get up, I walk to the mirror, and I always look in the mirror, and I speak to myself, and I just say, you are amazing, Dawnmarie. And today you're going to touch someone else, and you're going to learn 1,000 new things today, and embrace life and move forward and never give up. And at the end of whatever I want to do in that day and accomplish, I always say, I love you, Dawnmarie, because those words, I love you, Coach Sadiq, I love you, whomever you are, as you do this ritual every single morning, while you're staring at yourself, your brain is really registering and like connecting all of those feelings of emotion and moving forward and embracing you to get ready for your day. So I've learned to self acknowledge what I have to give and what I need to learn.
That is so powerful. And it's just again, it's just so hard hitting because like I actually tell people that you do need to actually look yourself in the mirror every morning and and literally remind yourself how amazing you are, because the truth is everybody's amazing. You just haven't found the belief in yourself yet. If you're watching or listening right now,
Yeah.
everybody's amazing. Like I always say to any human being that ever comes into my life, you're awesome. Like you're amazing, man. Why? Or you're amazing, sis. Like why are you letting these little people that are being negative about you or jealous about you, or kind of saying these bad things about you behind your back? Why do you care? Like are they going to be kind of living your life for you tomorrow? No, they're not. So just focus on
Exactly.
yourself. Like just as long as you are acknowledging every single day that I am loved, I am amazing, I am awesome, I am confident, I am beautiful, I am positive, I am making a difference in the world. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Remember I shared on your podcast like that little saying that you loved? First we have to be we have to be selfish first, and we have to find self-love before we can become
And
self-love.
that was so incredible. I think I made you repeat yourself 3 times just so that message would come across.
Yeah.
Anybody that watches the live interview that's on my IGTV page or listens to the podcast, on Apple and Spotify, because what you teach every day inspires me to become better. So I am constantly surrounding myself with pure inspiration. And I am honored to call you my dear friend. And one day I will make it to London, and we are going to
For
coffee.
sure.
Yeah,
We're going for coffee. We're going for a whole, like literally a whole day out in London, for
whole
sure.
day out in London. I can't wait. As soon as the walls are open, I'm on a plane.
I'm honored to come and serve you in my beautiful city, for sure.
Oh, it would be amazing. Never been to London, but it would be
You would love
incredible.
it.
But my children will meet you before I do, which I'm going to be very
They're
jealous
literally
about.
next door. They're literally over the ocean for me now.
I know.
So you'll
So
be
life
here
is
soon.
incredible. So I found you, and you inspired me every day. And I surround myself with inspirational people. And I also have people that are still in my life that do live in the past, but I accept them for who they are, but I don't let it affect me.
Mhm. And that's another key important lesson, I think, like to accept people how they are and not try to change them, but still, still show that love and respect to them, but
Yeah,
don't let their negative energy or their sadness come into your life and make you sad or kind of change your emotion, change your state, because we have to
exactly.
constantly be upgrading ourselves to be the light for them. Like we have to inspire them to be like us.
So true. And it's a difficult lesson to learn,
It
to
is.
be inspirational, because you have to truly love and believe that your pain brought you to that point to switch your life around.
Mhm.
Life is brought to us in many forms, and gifts are brought to us in many forms. And I'm not talking physical gifts. I'm talking the universe of the gifts of what come through our path. And you can either actually pay attention to it. Most people walk with blinders, and we need to learn to open up all five senses, actually all six of them, and use not just the 5 and 10% that most people use in their brain every day, and really expand it and understand the world of everyone's life is a true gift to the world. Everyone.
Mhm. I agree, 100%. Beautiful. And that was what that was that your fourth one now, or was that the fifth? Oh, you did
I don't
four
know.
and
I
five.
think I
You
think
put
I've
four
given
and
you
five
a lot.
in there.
I'm going to blame it on my MS. I don't know what number we're on.
I think you did throw 4 and 5 in there. So whatever it was amazing, and everything that you shared so far, Dawnmarie, I'm super grateful. Like because I think everybody watching and listening right now, they've got so much value from this, kind of really short session that I like to have on my podcast. Because, and I just think if everybody can just take somebody's life lessons and then go and implement it into their own life, then it's like their life will change and our life will change, because whether or not people know, like when we put out podcasts, we are inspired by the people's replies and feedback and comments. And I always tell people I dread the editing, and because I still do the editing of my own podcast, I do the editing and
My
everything.
God, God bless you.
And then when I put it out, the worst day for me is the day I have to sit down and do the edits. But the best day for me is the day after, when I put it out and it's all into the world, and I'm like, I can't wait for people to listen and watch this on YouTube and be like, Sadiq, that guest changed my life. That guest changed my life. That guest changed my life. And I'm just like I'm so grateful that I spent time with that guest, and I'm building that friendship and that relationship with amazing people around the world, where I can actually be of service and bring those guests to these people. And like your book, bringing the sun and taking their clouds out to kind of shine your sun bright onto into their life.
Yes.
So I love what you shared so far. And I have one question that I ask everybody at the end of my show. So I'm going to ask
Okay.
you just now, and you have to answer it in one sentence. Is that cool?
Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay, so I want you to imagine for a second that you are giving a, because I know, and by the way, I do know that you definitely want to do a TED Talk one day because you told me
Yeah.
last. So I really want you to visualize Dawnmarie doing your TED Talk right now. But there ain't just any amount of people in the audience. There are 90,000 people in the audience. So you are on that red carpet, 90,000 people in the arena, and you've just given this phenomenal talk. You did a 15-minute keynote speech, and you shared all your light, your love, your wisdom, your lessons, and your story. And at the end, you wanted every single one of those people in the room to remember you for the rest of your life. What would you leave that arena with? What last kind of sentence would you leave everybody to ponder upon?
My last sentence would be, you are the best CEO of your life, your story, your passion, your fear. You're the best advocate to inspire and move forward of things that encounter in your life. Be you and love you, but be your best CEO of your personal life and keep moving forward.
That was beautiful, amazing, heartfelt, like emotional, deep. Everybody's going to be literally, no one's going to ever forget you for the rest of their life, don't worry, after listening to that. So thank you so much for sharing. That was amazing. And I will be sharing something with you soon around that little sentence that you just shared. But thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom, all your love, all your light. Honestly, your content, your messages, your videos, your podcast, everything that you're doing is phenomenal, and it's changing people's life. You are inspiring the people who have gone through the challenges that you have, and you are literally saving lives, because there's people that probably listen to your podcast and without you knowing, their life is changing. They may not message you or DM you, but their life's changing because your love and your light is just, it's out there in the universe and people can feel it, they resonate with it, and believe it or not, their life is changing. So keep doing what you're doing. But I want you to share with everybody, where can they go and reach out to you or message you, or if they're struggling with similar challenges that you've been through in your life, how can they reach out? How can they come to you for some love, some advice, some wisdom? What's the best?
Yes, my door is always open. My phone number is on my website. So you can find me at Dawnmarie Healthy and Fit. You can Google Dawnmarie Deshaies, Dawnmarie Healthy and Fit, go straight to my website. The phone number is right there. You need my help, I answer. It's not going through a messaging center. It literally is coming straight to me. I am there for anyone that needs my help. And then also my Instagram is at Dawnmarie Healthy and Fit. And you can follow my entire journey there. And there's a lot of me speaking and a lot of post and inspiration of moving forward and a lot of truth of what I've dealt with in life. And if you really want to get to know me for who I am, living with phantoms is my true story from age 2 to 52 years old of everything I've ever been through, of tragic and determination and compelling issues in life, and then finding the sun through the clouds, which we all do every day.
Yes, indeed. And love it. And I will be linking everything under the YouTube video and all around the podcast. So, guys, as I say every single week, please go and reach out to this beautiful soul. Please go and show her some love. Please go and literally just message her something, like share a love heart in her DMs. Like, just go and share your sunlight to her after listening to this or watching this, because she's amazing and she's doing really, like, she put her phone number on her website, guys. Who else do you know that puts their phone number into the world? Everybody else is like, privacy, privacy. You ain't gonna put my phone number out there. I don't want anyone to have my phone number. She's like, here we go. I'm a servant
My
leader.
phone number is right there. I am there for you.
So
If
literally,
I
guys.
don't answer, it's because I'm either on a live podcast or I'm doing laundry.
I love it.
I will always return a phone call and a message and give you time personally via FaceTime like this.
Beautiful. I love that so much. That's amazing. Marie, I just want to
Thank
thank
you.
you, and honestly, like, I'm just so grateful that we're connected. I'm so grateful for your presence, the inspiration that you're sharing into the world. Feel free to share one last message with everyone, and then I'm gonna wrap this up.
Coach Sadiq, you are just a pure inspiration of light for all of us from London all the way around the world. And I can't say enough of how honored I am to be your friend and to call you my friend and to continue to share our light and our spirit throughout the world every day. So, as I always say, keep inspiring, and you keep inspiring me every day as well.
Thank you so much. I will, and I hope, and I likewise everything that you said, right back at you and more, because because you also inspire me. Like, your journey, your story, the challenges that you've been through. I know so many people that I've already shared and told them, hey, you got to go follow Dawn Marie, because she's been through something that you've been through, and I haven't been through what you've been through. So she's clearly the best person to go and speak to if you want to ask her a question. So thank you so much for your really kind and beautiful
Mhm.
words. I'm going to end the show now, but again, thanks for being on the Purposeful Mindset podcast, and I'm looking forward to stay connected and see you in London soon.
See you in London. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.